Welcome to Euro Football Daily, where we teamed up with WhoScored to bring you a scouting report on the 5 best young centre-backs in Europe this season. First up is 19-year-old Andreas Kristensen. A strong tackler, the Dane completes nearly 76% of the tackles he attempts. However, his real skill is stepping out of the line to stop play at the source, as he completes nearly 2.6 interceptions per game. To put that into context, those stats are very similar to Juventus stalwart Giorgio Chiellini, who is widely regarded as one of Europe's most rounded central defenders. However, surprisingly for a 6'2" centre-back, he does struggle in the air and actually has a worse aerial duel rate than Javier Mascherano, someone most of us consider to be pretty poor at heading. Finally, his most impressive skill is clearly his passing ability. With an 87% completion rate this term, he's beating one of the world's best ball-playing defenders, Mats Hummels. So it comes as no surprise that Chelsea are desperately trying to keep hold of him, but Mönchengladbach are doing all they can to sign the €6.5 million rated defender on a 2-year permanent deal. 4. Eric Bailly, WhoScored rating 7.01. Ivorian CB Eric Bailly was brought by Villarreal in January 2015 to replace the Arsenal-bound Gabriel and has more than filled his shoes. He's been part of the backline that have conceded just 19 goals this season in La Liga. That's better than Barcelona and Real Madrid, and second only to Atletico, a quite unbelievable record. Bailly completes 1.9 tackles a game and manages the same for his interceptions, going to show that he can play deep or step out of the line in a similar manner to Sergio Ramos at Real Madrid, who has made the art of killing attacks before they start his speciality. Like Kristensen, it's his aerial ability that lets him down though, and shockingly the 6'1" defender has a worse aerial duel percentage than Barcelona's 5'7" Jordi Alba, who everyone considers to be horrendous in the air. Despite this, Manchester City have been heavily linked to the €8 million rated Bailly. However, with a distinctly average 75% pass completion rate, he's going to have to improve a load if he wants to link up with Pep Guardiola. 3. Ruben Vasa, WhoScored rating 7.03. The La Liga youngsters just keep coming as we move to Valencia to look at Portuguese central defender Ruben Vasa. It's fair to say Los haven't had the best season. In fact, defensively they've been a shambles, conceding more shots per game than Aston Villa. Despite this, Vasa remains a bright spot in the Mestalla backline, averaging 2 tackles and an incredible 3.5 interceptions a game, which is better than the master of interceptions, Sergio Busquets. Aerially, he is far superior to Bailly and manages around the same successful duels as Jerome Boateng at Bayern Munich, who has been consistently one of the Bundesliga's strongest players over the past 3 seasons. On the deck though, his 74% passing accuracy could improve, and he's way off the likes of Piqué and Rafael Varane, who are amongst the best in La Liga. But with Valencia struggling under Gary Neville, Vasa, who is valued at just €2 million, must hope that Los can improve as a defensive unit in order to force a move to a bigger side. 2. Jonathan Tah, WhoScored rating 7.17. Let's return to Germany to look at the supremely talented Jonathan Tah, who has become one of the most highly rated defenders in the Bundesliga this season. The 20-year-old has built a reputation as a tough tackling machine, and despite making just 1.4 tackles each game, has an unbelievable success rate of 82%. However, his real prowess is stepping into defensive midfield, where he completes around 3.4 interceptions each game. That's double Philipp Lahm and far superior to David Luiz, who often likes to fill the hole in front of Thiago Silva at PSG. Standing at a monstrous 6'5", Tah is again superb in the air and is outperforming the Bundesliga's best central defenders, Boateng and Hummels, with his 72% success rate. Unsurprisingly, he's not quite as good with the ball at his feet, but nevertheless, the €20 million rated centre-back has been an integral part of Leverkusen's brick wall backline that has the 3rd best record in the Bundesliga behind Dortmund and Bayern. 1. Jose Jimenez, WhoScored rating 7.24. Europe's best young defensive prospect unsurprisingly comes from Atletico Madrid, where Diego Simeone has built Europe's meanest backline after conceding just 12 league goals this season. Jose Jimenez in particular has completed more tackles per game than anyone on this list and his superb pace has seen his interception rate climb to an impressive 2.5 a game. To put that into context, his predecessor Miranda, who joined Inter Milan in the summer, managed far less tackles and interceptions in his final season at the Calderon. He's also been regularly compared to fellow Uruguayan Diego Godin because they're similar size, but surprisingly the 21-year-old actually wins more aerial duels than his Atletico teammate. Finally, his passing accuracy still has room for improvement. Sitting at 75%, it's actually worse than Chris Smalling, who many consider to be pretty poor when in possession of the ball. But there's plenty of time to change that. And with Atletico boasting the best defensive record of any team in a top league in Europe, it's no surprise that Jose Jimenez's value now stands at over 25 million euros and that he's attracting interest from Barcelona and Real Madrid. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this scout report, go over and check out our transfer talk to see all the wheelings and dealings. If you want more stats, head over to WhoScored.com, and as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.